Welcome, Virgo, to your monthly horoscope for January. This is for the Sun or the Ascendant. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, I'd be honoured if you did so now. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol on the desktop version of YouTube. This month begins with a collection of energy in the sign of Capricorn, known as a stellium. Perhaps the principal influence for you is the fact that Mercury, your ruler, is joined together with Jupiter, the planet of joy, expansion, and traditionally in astrology of good fortune. Now, it is true that Jupiter is technically in full in the sign of Capricorn, but I actually think it can still be very progressive for you during its transit over the next year through till the 19th of December. But as this year begins, its combination with Mercury, your sign, in your fifth house of personal expression, of joys, of creativity, is a fabulous opportunity for you to think in a very expansive way. And the pair are also linking brilliantly to Uranus, the planet of surprises, of freedom, which is in a much more adventurous and independent part of your scope. It moved into this location in March last year after a brief sojourn of 5 months in 2018. So it has been kind of amping up the desire for you to be a bit more experimental in your approach. So I think one of the things that really strikes me in terms of your scope as you enter into this new year is a need to really define your individuality much more clearly. You can be one of the most dutiful members of the Zodiac, and when it comes to investing in some kind of role to support others, provide services, be in a caring capacity, you often sparkle and shine. But what the planets are asking you to do this year is really think about the ingredients that you have that perhaps you haven't quite been using to the fullest of extents. Now, of course, as this year begins, Mars, the planet of drive, is in a very chatty and very vigorous part of your scope, suggesting if you're thinking about those New Year resolutions, getting off the settee and being more active could be part of your mindset. And the moon is in the part of your scope to do with your relationships, and that combines with Neptune as this new year dawns. So that gives you an extraordinary heightened awareness of your interactions with others. You can use this as a great strength because it can make you much more perceptive. Even before people even say things to you, you're going to tune into them very effectively. But in the part of your horoscope that is very Virgoan, the sixth house, which in your case is governed by Aquarius, you have Venus. And that can-do attitude of yours to help others is still going to be very positive at the start of this year. And also the midpoint between the Sun in Capricorn and the Moon in Pisces pitches up right by this Venus position. So I do feel that that natural tendency and need of yours to provide that kind of input is still going to be a very healthy one. I just feel that you can reshape your approach to make sure that the whole range of your talents and abilities are being invested in something that gives you a real sense of purpose, that it is very engaging for you. It really grabs your interest. You're not just going through the functions. It's something that's much more enlivening to your very being. Now, on the 2nd of this month, Mars does relocate into a part of your horoscope which is to do with where you live and how you interact in the family. In the following 6 weeks, maybe some Virgos will think about working from home. Others may make some fundamental changes to their home environments. It could be some will even move. But also by the 7th, Jupiter is moving forwards and connecting with the South Node, which is the part of the nodal axis is very much to do with past karma. So I think your past efforts, your past creativity can come back to you very positively at that time. By the 10th, we have an annular lunar eclipse in Cancer. And you could find yourself really having to sort the wheat from the chaff in terms of your time management over the next 6 months. There's going to be a lot of people who want to spend time with you. There's maybe going to be a lot of different strands that are competing for your attention, because you are going to be feeling much more gregarious, I feel. So it's just about deciding where you're going to apply yourself. And that's going to take the natural abilities that you have to discriminate and really pick out what's going to be good for you. So there is a bit of a balance to be found on the back of that. But then that brings us to the 12th and the 13th, when the Sun and also Mercury and Ceres, the dwarf planet of nurture, Saturn and Pluto, all line up. And of course this has been flagged up tremendously well by a lot of different publications and other astrologers. So what does it mean for you? Well, Saturn over the last couple of years has probably meant that you have had to work hard at being dedicated to the things you love. And it could have seen you make a big commitment in your love life, or perhaps break away from a commitment that wasn't working. And the same can be true about your creative talents. So Saturn probably has at times been a bit testing for you over the last couple of years, but you have an opportunity this year as Saturn breaks away from Pluto and Jupiter and Pluto start to combine, to use those talents, that flair, that artistry, in a much more purposeful way. And I think this is going to be a real key point in the journey for you. There may be some major decisions that you need to make. However, what is going to help you enormously is that on the 14th, Venus moves into your opposite sign, and that gives you the wherewithal, the diplomacy and harmonizing approach to bring a great sense of equilibrium to all sorts of interactions with others. Remember, Neptune continues its journey here, where it's been since 2012. It's probably made you quite idealistic about relationships. Venus moving here suggests that you can blend the talents that all this Capricornian energy is asking you to use, but focus it in a way that others can be very receptive to. If you're single, this can be a key transit over the next 28 days. Now, Mercury, your ruler, moves into a much more practical location on the 17th, followed by the Sun on the 21st and a new moon on the 24th. And I think this is a chance for you to revisit and take the creativity that's been really coming to the fore on the back of that eclipse, and the need to make some decisions about your longer term future and how you're going to apply your talents. So the latter part of this month is going to see you really nailing down the detail of things, getting more of a structure and a plan in place, which is something that you're more than capable of doing. It is true that Mars is going to be squaring up to Neptune as this month draws to a close. So if there is something that you want to alter about your home situation, or something you feel strongly about in an emotional context or relationship, it is going to be important to get your facts really clear. Neptune can distort, and in its angle with Mars, which is about desire, can create confusion even to ourselves. So try to get that crystal clarity, which is part of your nature, as this month comes to a close. And I think it may come from, if there is a relationship issue that does need to be discussed, and talking it through with someone who you can really trust, who's got that detachment, who could be truthful with you, but has got your best interests at heart. So it's an exciting start to the year for you, Virgo. Of that there is little doubt. If you'd like to know what 2020 would hold for you as an individual, beyond just your zodiac sign or ascendant, please click on the link beneath this video. You can get 30% off your forecast for the next year. And for now, it's been a real pleasure being with you. Thank you and good luck.